Take a good long look at the picture of this guy that's on the screen right now, right here. Take a good look at him. Now let's discuss what he is. You know what he is? You could already know. I might not have to tell you. Do you know what this guy is? If your answer was he's the host of the Young Turks, founder, blah, 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 well, you're correct. But there's a little something else that this guy right here is. What he is a smug little jackass. Breaking news, right? What he is a man who has gold-plated health care, who loves to tell the rest of the world how everyone should have it, but no one should make a single move in any way, shape, or form on how to achieve it. And when the opportunity comes along that you get the chance to try and get it, you shouldn't do that either. You shouldn't pressure politicians. You should allow people who've had office for over 50 years, maybe not literally, but damn sure close to it. Some of these people are fossils, namely people like Nancy Pelosi. You shouldn't buck them, no matter how bad they may be, no matter how badly they need to go. Let them be. Let them remain. Let them stay speaker. Let's just all deal with incrementalism. That's what he's going to tell you to do. Now, that being said, if you want proof, let's take a look at a tweet that he tweeted out. You see what I got on the screen right now? You see what it says? You see how he's criticizing President Trump for not being willing to sign the stimulus that was going to give people $600? Notice the framework. Okay? He puts in there that Trump blocked millions of Americans from receiving aid. Okay? Now, of course, he mentions the pardons. Again, yes, Trump's pardoning all of his close little friends, and I can still think of at least 3 people out there who most certainly deserve a pardon, and I haven't seen one for them. So the pardon issue, I'll give him that much. But blocking aid. So, Cenk, did you miss the part about how he wants $2,000 instead of $600? See, this right here. This is how disconnected he is. It's either he's that dumb or he's just that full of crap. And it could be that. It could be he's just so full of it and X-Lax couldn't clean this guy out. I don't know. But flat out, $600, as Tulsi Gabbard and many other people have said, is a slap in the face. Okay, Cenk? And if the 2,000 doesn't make it through, it's going to be because of probably Mitch McConnell and the other Republicans in the Senate. And in that case, hey, the Republicans just hurt themselves. Okay, if they're going to fight that war against the figurehead of their own party, then that's on them. Guess what, Cenk? That ain't on Donald Trump. Even if he vetoed this for the wrong reasons, he's still vetoing legislation that gave a lot more money away to other countries than it did to its own country to help its own people. You know, I talked about this in my Christmas special. We're giving money away to countries to pay down their debt we won't pay down our own. We're giving away money to countries to build border security and put up walls for Jordan. We won't do that here. If we were to do it here, by the way, most people consider it to be racist. But we're willing to do it in another country. We're willing to do whatever we won't do here for another country. And we're willing to use our money to do it. And meanwhile, when our own people need help, well, no, the Democrats and Republicans can't seem to get along when it comes to helping you, but they can seem to get along when it comes to helping God knows who else. Probably because there's probably some shady dealings going on behind the scenes where somehow, some way, whether it be through a corporation that has people from those countries, whatever, there's some reason they're so willing to help out all those other countries as opposed to the people of this country. And we heard Russiagate for 2 years. Cenk, you were one of the biggest pushers of Russiagate. Now, you had your own little unique spin on it. You had your own little unique twist. Based on what was in that bill that was going to give all that money away to other countries while basically taking a big dump on the American people in the form of $600 checks, You pushed Russiagate. Cenk, I want to know why you're not looking into the Democrats and the Republicans that could be taking money from these other countries because they're doing them favors. You thought that because Trump tried to have a better working relationship with Russia, even though because of the Congress and the Senate, they imposed tons of sanctions on Russia, okay? They got their way. We didn't exactly ease tensions with Russia very much, but you thought there was something going on behind the scenes, right? That Trump was some kind of a Russian puppet because they had dirt on him and he owed money or whatever. You had your own little unique spin on it, right, Cenk? So here you have a bill that gave millions and billions of dollars away. I say millions simply because certain countries didn't get in the billions. They got within hundreds of millions. But some countries did get over $1 billion. And we're not even touching the special interest in our own country. Yeah, there was a lot more given out to special interests and things like the Smithsonian in our own country still yet. But that's at least still something that's within the country, right? This was stuff given away to other countries. So, Cenk, why are you not trying to figure out who snuck all this stuff in? Why aren't you trying to figure that out? Why aren't you trying to dox them? And then why aren't you trying to tell us there needs to be an investigation into them because they're being bought off? They're being bought off. Why aren't you looking into Eric Swalwell for sleeping with the Chinese spy? Like, really? Cenk, you are focused on one thing, and this is a prime example of a bullshitter right here. Now, you don't have to like Donald Trump. You don't have to agree with Donald Trump. But when the man does something right, you don't cut your nose off to spite your face to be petty. And to me, that just shows how petty the people at the Young Turks are. That he could literally do the right thing for our country. And the people at the Young Turks like Cenk Uygur are going to take the mainstream media stance of saying it was a bad thing. It was a bad thing. Now, why would you say that? We'll give Cenk the benefit of the doubt and say maybe he's saying that because Trump did the right thing for the wrong reasons. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. If the right thing is done for the wrong reasons, at the end of the day, guess what happened? The right thing was still done. Wow, unheard of, right? Just because it was done for the wrong reasons doesn't mean it became the wrong thing. The wrong thing would have been to sign that hunk of shit and give all those other countries our damn money and shit on the people of this country. But again, I deflect back. Cenk Uygur doesn't give a shit. Cenk Uygur doesn't give a shit. He's sitting there with health care. He's sitting there making a nice little income. Oh, and by the way, as his former friend, and I guess maybe they are still friends, but they're certainly at opposite ends of an argument right now, okay? His good pal Jimmy Dore has been pointing out this fucker in the middle of the pandemic, when he's telling you should settle for $600 while all kinds of other money get given away. You shouldn't fight for health care. I'm knocking the hell out of my mic here. You shouldn't fight for health care. You shouldn't pressure AOC. You shouldn't pressure Nancy Pelosi because you risk losing the speakership from Pelosi, which again would still go to a Democrat, just not probably Pelosi. So it ain't like Kevin McCarthy, unless Kevin McCarthy is the one who agreed to do the Medicare for All vote, would wind up winning the speakership. Probably not going to happen. Okay? So Cenk's telling you, you can't fight him, you can't do this, you can't do that. You got to sit back and you got to wait. That's his that's his stance on this, right? And as Jimmy Dore has pointed out, they're sending people emails just like politicians on a regular basis begging and pleading for your donations to help their network. As if all those millions of dollars from Buddy Roemer and the Clinton donors and all these people he's been taking big gobs and loads of money from for all these years hasn't padded his fat ass and his wallet enough. Really? You're pathetic, man. You're pathetic. You're pathetic. You are so disconnected at your network from the people who you're supposed to be speaking for. The blue collar people, the working class, the minorities, whatever, man. You're fucking disconnected from them all. You have no grasp of reality of what we need. You live in an ivory tower paid for by the people you used to bitch about. And you sit there and decree to us we should continue to live in poverty because the fuckers your organization helped get elected are not doing their jobs, and the people who gave money to your fucking network don't want you to push a little harder, so you want to sit on your fat little padded ass and not do nothing. Besides, sheepdog people to think that we should still support Pelosi and we should still support Joe Biden at the end of the day. That's your fucking purpose, man. Just be honest. Just be genuine with us. You're a fucking little phony bootlicker. Period. You know what? People could sit there and say, oh, this is just someone with only 400 and some change subscribers here who's trying to clout chase off the name of Cenk Uygur. No. I'm doing what everyone with a YouTube platform who's tired of these damn people should be doing, no matter how big or small their channel is. It's time to expose the phonies, just like it's time to expose the politicians you want out of office. You can't just expose the politicians. You got to expose the wolves in sheep's clothing. And I would know, being as how this is the Lone Wolf Podcast, I know what a wolf looks like. Okay? These people are trying to throw on a disguise to sneak into the hen house and herd people right on over as lambs to slaughter. Okay? That's literally all they're trying to do. They're trying to lead you like a lamb to slaughter. They want you to continue to go out and vote. And it's very profitable for him. You see, that's why he's done all this. He might have started out as some kind of independent outsider, whatever, progressive, ooh la la at one point, but he's not anymore. He's not. You know why? He figured out it was very profitable that when he started getting all these donations, he could just keep playing that role and then bullshitting you when they rig a primary or screw an outsider candidate why you need to go vote for the status quo candidate, and then he'll rake in a few more $1 million from those damn donors to fund his little network because he's not trying to build something that's true outsider. He's trying to build his own version of CNN. Be honest. That's what it's all about. He's trying to build his own version of CNN. He's a gaslighting phony. And he doesn't care if you don't get health care. He doesn't care if your stimulus is a slap in the face. You know why? Because one, he probably doesn't need a damn stimulus. He's one of those people that are fortunate enough. And number two, he's already got his health care. So what the fuck do you matter that you don't? You're not a relative. You're not a friend. You're not a family member. You're a fucking statistic he wants to donate to his show. So you know what, Cenk? You know what? All the people who think I'm clout chasing, I'll fucking say this. If becoming as large as you are means that I have to become the kind of phony bootlicking sellout that you are, I'll stay at 400 subscribers. Now, I would like to grow as a channel. I would like to get over 1,000. It would be great if I could ever get to the point one of these days where this channel could actually be able to possibly make some money. That would be wonderful. But if I have to do what you've done to do it, I'll keep doing it as a fucking hobby. That shows the difference between a guy like me and a guy like you. I actually genuinely try to do this to get a message out there speaking on behalf of people who are tired of the government and the status quo dumping on them. And I can say that because I'm amongst the people who are the victims. I'm amongst the people in the income bracket that might have a decent standard. Some people are not even as fortunate as me. Some people have not been fortunate enough to actually be able to buy a house. or buy a newer car that's good and reliable. Some people have it worse than me and don't have health care. I've been a little bit more fortunate than some, but I still don't have good health care. And even with the things that I have to put a lot of things on the back burner, as I've said in previous videos. You don't have to do that, Cenk. You don't have to do it. So to tell me to wait 10 years because you don't want your darling that you got elected to get pressured, I don't give a shit. I don't. And guess what? Most of your viewers don't. And most of the people who are progressives don't. No, it's elitist progressives who have been sniffing the farts of the Democrat Party for so long. It is only your ilk. You're drunk off their ass gas, period. You huffed enough of it, and it's got you seeing stars, okay? You're drunk off their ass gas, plain and simple. That's the truth, man. And people like me can see right through you. You, Tim Black, all of you guys, all of you, David Packman, you all are peas in a pod. Peas in a pod, man. When the rubber meets the road, you know something? I think I might know another reason aside from chasing that money why you don't want to really fight. Because if something ever got done, you've got nothing to come on your show and bitch about anymore, do you? See, that's the difference for these people. They're making probably enough money. They've got health care from these platforms, right? From these shows they do. They're making decent money off that, so they can afford some health care, right? But we can't. And they don't want it done because they don't really need health care. We need health care. People like me, others, we need better health care in this country because it's crapping all over us. But no, it doesn't really affect them. You know how I know that? Because the only other guy out there who's taking a principled stance, well, I'll say two guys. One, I think, is still trying to walk the fence line here. Is almost like a desperado, okay, would be Kyle Kalinske. Because he's still got so many ties with the TYT network. He's trying to not just step off in it, and he's calling it poor strategy, just an honest disagreement. So that's his stance. But at least he's saying it's right. Why is it such a big issue for him? Because of what happened to his dad. You know, the other one who's taking the gloves off and it and just disagreeing, and probably he's doing this because, unlike with Kyle and it just being his dad, it was damn near his own life, and that's Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore ain't for this shit. You know why? Because their priority is actually getting something done. Your priority is bitching and saying something needs to be done, but as long as something isn't done, then that gives you the ability to come out on your platform and bitch. And by the way, closing off on this, as I referenced, they're wanting your money. They're wanting your money. Here's the irony of that. They're wanting your money, not necessarily, at least in their statements, to build their network. It's so they can use that money to put forward so that those politicians can pressure Nancy Pelosi and blah, 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 blah. This coming from the guy who's sitting there telling us not the time to apply pressure. But I'm supposed to give you money so you can apply pressure? How the fuck does that work? Someone explain that to me. So I can't apply pressure. But I need to take my money and give it to you so you can apply pressure. But you're the one saying not to apply any pressure. So what the hell are you going to do with my money? Pad your fat little ass with it. Be honest, man. If it was an issue of give money to Ilhan Omar, give money to AOC, give money to all these people to pressure them, so why don't you just donate to them? If that's what you're planning on doing. What are you going to do? Start some kind of little pack with our money that says you only get this if you agree to do X? Well, again, that makes no sense because your whole stance is to not put pressure on them in the first place. You don't want to force the vote. Right? So, and again, there's people out there who don't necessarily agree that Medicare for all is the answer. The overall point is, though, folks, holding politicians accountable to do what they claim they were going to do when they ran for office. That's why this should be done. And even if you don't think Medicare for all is the proper way to go, the best way to go, I don't really see how it's honestly going to be worse. The only way it's going to be worse is if we're trying to give all this money to private companies instead of just letting the government handle it all. If we try to give it to private insurance companies, they're going to skyrocket rates. The same thing happened with Obamacare, right? That was why one of the reasons why Obamacare was a massive disaster for a lot of people. So something needs to be done. Even if it isn't the best option, something's got to be done. So why not take a step in the right direction? You see what I mean? So that's my message. So for anyone out there who's tired of being dumped on, who's tired of the government giving you a slap in the face and is ready for some change, if we're going to get a stimulus, make it a stimulus that actually would be worth the paper it's written on and doesn't give most of the money away to other countries. Maybe that's a good idea. If you're ready for that, and you're ready for some change on healthcare, then just remember what little phony bootlicker right here is standing in your way.